Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I know y'all are probably mad at me at this point because I always promise you the second video, but I didn't. I think it's the second week now. The video for the dollar breakdown after the GBP USD. I'm well aware that I haven't been dropping the dollar and gold analysis. Um, it's because I've been having technical challenges on my side. I've been suffering, or I've been encountering problems with electricity. So yeah, but that doesn't stop. That's not gonna stop the work. And I also know that I'm a bit late this week because I was supposed to drop this on Monday. But as you know, this week is heavily gonna be affected by the fundamentals, news. And as you know, by now you guys know that I do not really trade news. Let me leave the chart for now and just chop it up with y'all. I do not really trade news, you know. Um I hate the spikes, I hate the volatility during NFP week. There's already an event today, FOMC. So I'm just gonna analyze because I'm just gonna do it for you guys, but I don't think I'm gonna be trading this week. Uh, unless if we find a solid setup that we can hop on, especially today, before the FOMC. But then if you don't find a setup, it's okay. The FOMC will set the tone, or it'll just balance what price is trying to do in the markets right now. And then we'll see maybe Thursday, but then Friday is NFP. You see, so like this week is just filled with high impactful events, and I would not want to risk that. So before I even get into all that other stuff, please subscribe. It's very important for you guys to subscribe to this channel so that it grows, we grow together, and the algorithm is on our side in terms of pushing the content to go out there and more people to discover the channel. So please, it does not take a long time, a lot of time. Just like click the subscribe button, turn on the post notification button, and yeah, that's it. And like the video if you really like the content and if you really find it valuable. And in this one, it's pretty good. It's just gonna be long. I know by now you see for the fact that I haven't said it's not gonna be a long one. It means it is gonna be long, fortunately. So please stick with me. Let's keep the focus. Let's focus and grasp what I'm trying to lay down. Um, so because I haven't been uh sticking to my promises for the past 2 weeks, I decided that this week, since I'm not even trading, let me just break down the dollar for you. I'll start with the dollar, do your GBP USD, do your gold, do everything all in one video. And yeah, I'm just gonna do that for this week. And especially because it's midweek. I mean, it's Wednesday. So there's a lot that has happened already in the market in terms of the opening of the week, Monday, Tuesday. The market has already found it found its element. It's probably going to decide on the direction for the week today or later on after the news, right? So let's just dive into it. Let's just dive into it. We're gonna start on the daily, or we can even go on the weekly. I'm gonna be quick with the analysis. I'm assuming that everyone who's watching this video has been watching previous videos and they know how we analyze by now. If you don't, please check out the previous videos. It's gonna be very, very, very helpful. But then I'll also try and break down some concepts when I analyze for you guys. So I'm gonna start with the dollar. Obviously, on the weekly. I'm just now marking crucial areas in the market. Um, as we can see, I'm just gonna have this as a range right here. Price is playing between these two uh areas right here, the support and the resistance, right? You can see that price came here to make the first touch on the support, made the second touch on the resistance, second touch of the support. Now our price it it reversed midway. Obviously we would have expected it to go for the resistance again to complete the formation or the range, but halfway it decided to go into drawdown, right? For now, we can just say it's a drawdown because we cannot invalidate the upward movement just because of the drawdown. It's not like price reversed 100%. If we even check with the retracement, I know I don't usually use this, but if we even check like this, we'll see that at most price retraced 68%, 618, on that mark right there. So we cannot really say it's a reversal, but then we can just call it a drawdown. Let's just now this is where we watch the market if it's really gonna continue the upward movement that we expect. You understand? Just to complete the range, because we are analyzing the market within the confinements of the range, right? So that's what we're looking at. If you want to look at the trend overall, we can say that it's a downtrend because this wave, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, just go check out the previous videos. They're going to be very helpful. But then this wave of a higher low and higher low and higher high, higher low, higher high. You see, it has been invalidated, right? Higher low was broken. It was even retested, even though new lows were not even made, because this low barely broke this one. So technically, we're on a downtrend because the high low was broken and retested, and price is playing below the high low. But then, as far as the downtrend is concerned, we haven't really seen a healthy trend. We've only seen one wave. We cannot even call it a wave because the low was barely broken, So we're just gonna have this range, That's why we are now we are just analyzing price within the confinements of this range, because as far as trend is concerned, we are low-key in the wilderness, So let's go on to the daily and see what we have. On the daily, we have this range as well. And as you can see, price reversed here, right? Price reversed here and went into a bit of a drawdown. But in the drawdown, what we can say or what we can see is price is still above the wave we used to determine. Let me make it solid. The wave we use to determine whether the price is bullish or bearish. In this case, this is what we can use. In this case, this is what we can use. Lower high. We have a lower high here. I have a lower low. Okay. This is what we have. This is the wave. This is the wave we have. With the downtrend within the range really. But this is the level we can really use to determine if the sentiment is bullish or bearish. And as you can see, price went into a drawdown, but it still made it above this level. So we cannot really say now I'm talking in a scale of this, I'm talking now in a scale of this range now, within the range, right? Because at the end of the day, what happens on a big time frame, what happens on the larger scale also happens on the smaller scale. So let's just break it down so that we can have the same understanding going forward and going down to the smallest time frames. So this level is important because this is the lower high, this is the lower low. This is the lower low, right? Lower low was broken. Barely also, price played around the lower low area and then broke back inside, and price broke the lower high area, right? Price broke it. The small retest, one candle on the daily, that was enough retest, and then it shot up. Obviously, at this point, we were expecting it to get to the resistance, but it turned around right here, So now even with the drawdown, price still respected, even though it barely respected it because it broke it, retested, obviously trapped the sellers to think, okay, the trend is reversed. Sellers came in and then they were taken out, you know. They were taken out by this price action right here. These rejections right here. Obviously, sellers entered at this point, or after this candle, thinking that price is gonna now continue to the downside since we broke the lower high. You know, now the trend is just about to reverse and go down. But um, what am I saying? Hold on, hold on. I'm not gonna speed past that. I'm not gonna speed past that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, um, obviously the price coming back into this area would traders would assume that okay, there's no strength for price to go to the upside. Now we are back into this lower high, lower low area. So it would mean that we are still going to continue to the downside. Hence, I'm talking about the liquidity that was grabbed here of the sellers that entered. And also, obviously these are the stop losses going up. We're just collecting, or price was just collecting the stop losses. That's the liquidity, and their orders and stuff. So now price is going up. As we can see, we have a clean and healthy uptrend. We might not see it because it's the 4 hour, but then I'm about to go down to the because it's the daily time frame, but I'm about to go to the 4 hour so that you can see it clearly. So yeah, this is what we have. I mean, let me remove this wave. But by now you understand what I'm talking about. And maybe on the 4 hour, will understand what inspired this reversal right here and the one on top. This reversal here, this and the one on top. Okay. Okay. So this is what we can do. I'm gonna make all the downtrends within this range. I'm gonna make them create the downtrend. This is an uptrend, you don't do anything to it. And then we also had a low. Can you call this an uptrend? Let's have it like a mini uptrend because it was also reversed right here. See, this now identify the area or zone that reversed this downtrend. What's special about it? Oh, there was a resistance right here. There was a resistance right here. Well, this could have been a lower high, lower low, but then this wave was disqualified as, or it's not valid because this lower low was not broken. So we still use this, we still use this wave. We still use this wave. Let me just print out the wave for you. Lower high. This is the wave. Let's make it black. Right here. And then lower low. This one we have. This is the most recent valid wave that we had, and it's also been respected. I mean, this line, see, there was a resistance here, broke out a young retest, price came, support broke, retest, and then broke again. And then now it was disrespected, and now it acted like a support right here. Now here it acted like a support. So we are really hoping for that upward push. I'm not gonna lie to you because this wave was also like, when I'm just saying a lot of things at this point, talking about waves and stuff. If you're new to this, bear with me, or just check out my previous, videos after this one, just so you can be familiar with, the terms and how we analyze. Even though this low was barely broken, let's just give it a benefit of the doubt, lower high, lower low. Even though the lower low was barely broken. Yeah. So the downtrend was also, this downtrend now was also reversed as soon as price broke the lower high area, which happens to be the same lower high area as this one, So now price is using this level as some sort of a support, and it's looking healthy. It also has been, it has been we have a wave already, a higher high, a higher low, or we can just say we have a higher high for a higher low for now, and we cannot classify this as a wave yet, unless this high is broken, So we'll have to look closely to see the possibilities of price breaking this high right here. And we also want to see what inspired the high, and we can only do that by looking to our left-hand side of the market. I want to be specific with the high, or we can just bring it here. Which one is more revealing? Which one is more telling? I'm cool with this one. I'm cool with this one. I'm not gonna lie. It's really a zone if you look at it. It's really a zone because as soon as I have this, let me show you. It's really a zone, resistance, support, even though it faked in, it was a fake out. This is what inspired the reversal, or the, not reversal, but then the retracement or the drawdown. So in this case, it was a resistance. Let's just have this resistance. Also here it was a resistance, but it was broken, right? Here it was a support. Even though it was a fake out a little bit. And then here it was supposed to be a resistance, but it faked out, of course. Yeah, it was supposed to be a break retest, which means resistance, and then it goes down, but then it broke up, it broke to the upside a little bit, a fake out, and then started dropping. It still, it still played its role, and then it acted as a support, a resistance again right here, right? So now we're trying to see if price is gonna come to this area first of all, and if it does, is it gonna break this time? And we can only tell by the momentum in the market. You can only tell by the momentum in the market. This area has been holding pretty much well, pretty well, because it was price rejected around this area 3 times, 1, 2, 3. So at this point, we are more on the bullish side of things because we already have a higher low. This high was broken. Let's have this, let's just have this wave so that we are clear with the bullish move, higher low, right? That's why we have higher low, and we're hoping that this is going to be a higher low wave, but then that is only going to be valid when when this high is broken. So now, because we understand the the significance of or where this reversal came from, now that we finally get it, I think we can remove this so that we can focus on what we have going on. We can have a clearer vision of what's going on. I like my charts to be to be clean. Let me also remove this red here. This one is gonna be a long video. I'm not even about to lie and say, nah, this one is not gonna be long. Because I'm gonna break down everything for you guys. Right? Okay, so this is what we have right now. Perfect. So now let's just mark the high. This is the target. If anything, if we're saying the markets are gonna be bullish this week, this is gonna be the target for price to reach, as far as the bulls are concerned, right? And what makes me happy with this setup is because there's something like this. I'm not gonna ignore it. You see, there was a lot of tension around here between the buyers and the sellers. There was a lot of tension between the buyers and the sellers to say, is the third touch supposed to touch and go, or are we breaking the trend line to break to the downside, right? So there was a lot of commotion around this area. There was a lot of commotion around this area, and guess who won? And guess who won? The buyers won. Oh, I'm saying the buyers won. Is it because I'm seeing I'm saying the buyers won because if we take this, this is a consolidation. This is a consolidation, and right now we're at we just broke the resistance of the consolidation, right, to the upside, right? It could be a fake out, but then it could also be a break, which would make sense because look at this. 1, 2. It was supposed to be a third touch right here. So obviously the liquidity that was here, buyers who came in early, obviously this was meant to dilute their stop losses, so that the buyers can have enough liquidity to go to the upside. This was to dilute the stop losses of the buyers who came in here. And then price broke again here. It broke the line. It broke back into the line. It took out all the stop losses, broke back into the line, and then the buyers were like, okay, now there were buyers who were like, okay, now I can enter because, the liquidity grab has happened. They probably entered, had their stop losses tight because they believe that this move is over, and then we had another move to do exactly that. But then remember also, for the sellers entered. Right? The sellers entered, they were like, okay, shit, excuse me. They were like, okay, price broke out the line, and we have this candle. This candle was to say, okay, price has broken out of the line, the trend line that has been respected twice, with each touch making, higher highs. So they were like, okay, with this, we are entering sales. Entered sales, had the stop losses inside of the pattern, most probably, right? Probably below or higher. Let me not say, yeah, just above this high. This is just me like communicating with other traders by just looking at the chart, a typical retail trader even, and that's how I catch my entries as well. So the sellers entered and probably had their stop losses somewhere above this level here to say, okay, if price breaks it back inside, then I'm wrong. Then it was a fake out. And to only find out that, yes, it was a fake out, price is now respecting the line and it's even breaking out of it's breaking out of the consolidation that it had formed, right? This is this resistance. This is supposed to be the second touch and price is breaking out and it's looking healthy. It's going back inside the trend line. So we can say the odds are with the bulls more than the bears at this point. But then ours is just to react to what the market does and not predict it. So right now the bulls are in control. They're back inside. They're back into the trend line, and they also broke the consolidation phase to the upside. So if we go down to the 1 hour, we could also trade lower time frames. I mean, 1 hour is my lowest time frame. As you can see, As you can see, this is what we have on the 4-hour chart. I'm sorry, the 1-hour chart. And I'm still saying it's looking quite bullish. It's looking quite bullish. This looks like a retest, because some might say, I know I used to fall for this trap a lot as a beginner, but I still do sometimes, but not like that anymore. I'd have this as a pattern. I'd have this as a pattern, right? To give the sellers the benefit of the doubt, right here. To give the sellers the benefit of the doubt to say, what if more liquidity is being grabbed? What if like more buyers are needed to enter the market before price actually, drops? So right now we'll just wait. We'll just wait and see. I'm gonna have both possibilities on the chart like this because my job is not to predict, as I always say. We don't predict, we have to just react to what the market is doing. So this is just for me to have, the just to have the open mind to say, okay, if I happen to see price drop, it would make sense because of this type of a pattern, and it wouldn't be too difficult for me to fall into that, to accept the move that's happening at the time. But yeah, let's just stay tuned and see what price is actually really trying to do, because there's a lot happening right now. We can have the range still. We can make this a range. Can make this a range and see what happens, and then maybe I'll be comfortable with the bulls as soon as this level is broken. Now I know that it's going for the all-time high. It's coming for this target that we have, right? So we'll see if price breaks out of this, and then now I know that price is really going up, and on the 4-hour it will be a clean fake out. But then if price now gets here and gets some sort of resistance, because if you look at price action at this point, you will see that at the top right here, let me mark it. At the top right here, from this point, price has been failing to break this high, right? So let me bring this here for a little minute, just so I can get this off, right? So this low right here, we can even call it a high low, but then like this wave is not like equivalent to this one. So it's also to your own discretion. If you think this is also like a wave you could classify like this one, you can go ahead and classify it as a wave, but I don't really have it as a wave. Let me just, yeah. So this higher low right here is the one that pretty much made the high, right? Price came back around this area, the same area, with the same, the same area that made the same this high, right? Came back here with strong momentum, got to this level here, and then tried to do what it did here for the first time, right? If you look at this low, this low made this high, and then we had another touch around this area, and price after that didn't even come anywhere close to the high that this area made previously. Price didn't go anywhere near the high, and it started reversing. After that reverse right there, price even made, it came back deeper than the two previous lows. Is it deeper? Yeah, it is. It's probably like equal. Now it's equal lows. Let me remove this so that we have it clear. Now it's equal. I think it's equal lows. If it's not equal lows, then it's lower. But then you get the gist, right? Price came back for the third time around this area, and That's what we are looking at right now. That's the move we are watching now. Do we think price is gonna, excuse me, do we think price, now that it came to this area and even broke it a little bit, if you look at the wick closely, you will see that price just like damn near broke it, broke the low. Do we think that that move is gonna now break this low and even reach to that one? Because these are the lows that we have. Sorry, no, the highs. Excuse me, guys. These are the highs that we have. This high and this high, and they were both made by the same level. This support level. You can call it a support at this point. Price come around this area and try to make highs, and now this is the third touch, right? So now we want to see if this third touch is gonna drive price to go even higher and even reach the high that it initially made, or the sellers are just getting weaker and the buyers are just getting weaker and the sellers are just getting stronger. Because what else describes this weak rejection right here? It means that the sellers really have the strength. It's just that the buyers are still in. Now we're trying to see if the buyers are really about business. We want to see if the touch is really going to take the buyers to the all-time high. But as we can see, there's a whole lot of rejections in this area. Let's see what happens. The sellers are strong as well. And the buyers are trying by all means to push the prices up. But this was a young break and retest of this level. I don't see the significance of this level, but yeah, price decided to I think there's a gap somewhere here. Real quick. Let me show you. I think there's no gap, man. I don't know the reason why price decided to come back to this area. I think there's a gap somewhere here. Hence the retest and hence the significance the area holds. So to the eyes of a breakout retest trader, I mean, this looks like a good break retest and now continue to the upside, but price keeps on rejecting higher prices. So let's just put a I'm gonna put this as a just to see what price is trying to do. Let me make it an arrow. Just to see what price is trying to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Just to see what price is trying to do, right? Is it going to respect this, this high? Because it seems to be very, very resistant around this area. Let's see. I'm only going to be comfortable with sellers if price breaks below this area. Let me make it read. If price breaks below this area right here, I'm going to be comfortable there with sellers. To say sellers are in, right? Oh, my chart is so messy. Let me remove all these areas. But hopefully you guys get me. Hopefully you are patient with me. Hopefully you guys, are picking up something from this video. A little bit of value wouldn't hurt. As a trader, you must strive to, always improve your skill. That's why even me, like, whenever I analyze, especially when I analyze with no prior engagement with the charts like this, and I'm trying to figure out what's happening on the chart with you guys for firsthand, like that's where I see that. I mean, there's a lot of ways to interpret the chart. There's a lot of ways to interpret, what's happening in the market. So this is what we're gonna have for now. What makes me stick to this, not really stick, but then what makes me not overlook the fact that the sellers are strong also in this activity is the fact that the same area has the same area of support, or the same area of lows has given us different results in terms of giving us highs. The same area gave us a pretty higher high, right? And then the same area also gave us a high that was nothing close to the previous high, right? But then the same area also for the third time, price came back to the same area, and then now it's moving to the upside, and it's moving in a sort of a pattern. There's a pattern also forming that's also, we are familiar with it. It also represents a buy sellers in this point, or in this case. This is a correction for the sellers. Could be a correction for this move. It's a correction for this move. If you're gonna now take into account the impulse and correction, maybe this is the correction of this move, or even this one on a bigger scale. It could be a correction for this move to say, okay, we made this impulsive because going upside, we didn't go like impulsively. You can see higher, low, a couple of it was a bit chopped, or like the price action was taking place. But with this one, we saw a huge drop impulsively. So we wouldn't be off, or wouldn't be as mistaken if we say expecting the next move to be as impulsive as the first one, to say, okay, now the sellers are in. This price action, this pattern right here is the correction of this down movement. That's also a possibility. But the most important thing is timing. Watch when you enter the market, and also look at the algorithm. What time does the price really move? If we look at this movement, it was the 30th of June on a Friday, around 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, and then that's when this type of move happens. So if you're gonna expect something like that, it's probably gonna be, by news. News. We have FOMC today. Later, I know I'm gonna drop this before the event, and we also have NFP on Friday. So I'm expecting that type of a move to happen either tomorrow. FOMC is it's not really that. I mean, it depends, right? It all depends. So that is why I don't really trade NFP week. But yeah, the type of move you're expecting is perfect for the type of week we are in. And if you get an opportunity, and if you really manage your risk pretty well, and your trading rules really allow you to enter the markets this week, you can do the most, man. Just make sure that risk management over everything. It's risk management over everything. Okay, let's move on to GBP USD. If you're at this point of the video, I really appreciate you. You're a real one. You are really a real one. Okay, this is what GBP USD is looking like on the weekly. I'm gonna try and make it so easy to analyze. I'm gonna make it look simple to just like read. And also, I think it was on this. When was it when I discovered that this low was not out of nowhere? There's an equal low on our left hand side. It's just that my chart is a bit slow right now. But here's the low. Even though it's not exactly low, like it's not exactly equal, but we know where it came from. And in the overall scheme of things, here's the highest high for the last how many years? When was this? 2007. So it's holding. This high is holding. Just gonna have this here, but then there's a whole lot of layers we still need to analyze. See, just like this. I mean, I really like focusing on the current price movement, the current price in the market, but like it's fascinating to see like price respecting, the rules that we always preach, like support, resistance, break, retest, all these things. When you look back, you see them, but then it's very difficult to participate in them in real time, because you have emotions, as a trader. Like traders have emotions, and it's easy for you to say, nah, that thing doesn't exist. When you're in the heat of the moment, it's easy for you to say, nah, but then when you look back, all of that is true. Look at this beautiful price action, higher high, higher low, right? and then it was broken. It retested, in retest on the higher low, and then it dropped. So now we also have another. I'll just start here. I'll just make it. Then now from here, I say, or I think we can see that we have some sort of a downtrend, even though it's not as clear as you want it to be, but it's a downtrend. You know, see. So overall, on the weekly chart, we are in a downtrend. Technically, because this lower high is still holding. This line is the lower high area. But man, this is only the weekly. Let's get into it. I'm gonna keep this though. I'm gonna keep this analysis on the chart. See what the daily is talking about. But going forward, I'm gonna be focusing on the current price action. Within the confinements of what we see right now, like what we are relative to right now. For example, this area, you can clearly see that there was a downtrend. From here, price has been going down, which was also right, which was also a retest of this. My chart is so slow, yeah. But anyways, so now we can see that this was a downtrend and now it has been reversed. When was it reversed? It was reversed as soon as this was broken. As soon as this was broken, I don't know what role it plays right now in the market, this line, but as you can see, it was disrespected here. Price came back inside around the lower low area, because the lower low plays a role sometimes. This is the lower low. You see it played as a support. You see now the price action that broke out of this lower high area, or broke the line, came from the same lower low. The lower low of the same lower high created basis for price to even go and make higher highs. So it's very important for us to always abide, or always follow the principle that we follow on other instruments. If we're gonna say we are trading by the lower high, lower low, or that's how we analyze, or that's how we determine the market structure, apply that, and you will see that there's really some connection. So yeah, so by just looking at these lines, I'm looking at this lower high, lower low area right here. We can see that okay, the uptrend is valid. The downtrend has been reversed. And now let's look deeply into the price action that we're facing. What we can see, it's always wiser to go to a left-hand side and look at the significance of the area that price is currently playing at, right? If you look at this area, you will see that this was a higher low at some point. When we're looking at this trend now, the trend that starts from here going up there, this was a higher low, higher low, went up, obviously got broken, retested, dropped. Right now we're playing around the same area, and price is showing so much confidence in buys. If you look closely, you will see that when price was approaching this area here, it came with so much momentum, because we have two waves. We have this higher high, higher low, higher low. We broke, and this could be, price is still above the line. So this could be the break of the, this higher low that happened here, or this support. You can call it a support. It's a flip zone at this point, because it was support resistance. Now I think it's about to be support again before price breaks to the upside. So price is around a very critical area right now, and it shows it shows signs of bullishness. And what happens when you connect our lows? This is what happens when we connect our lows. I'm not sure. Let's see, this is a, we have to be very, very specific with our touches. Okay, here it is. There we go. So we clearly have one low here, another low here. And these are the lows that make new highs. Yeah. See from this low, we made a new high. That is this one. So this what we're facing right now. And this is only the daily. This is only the daily time frame, and the chart is so clear. See, you can have a zone. Let's not focus on. You can have a zone here. You know this resistance zone which was broken now can be retested, and now you'll see where the trap comes in. Let's go down to the 4 hour. We'll see where the trap comes in now. Let's see if okay. Let's say it happens that this is really a correction, impulse correction, break and retest of the resistance. Where would be the target for the next, for the next stop? Where do you think price is gonna stop next? I think let's just go to our left hand side and look at like the closest area, the closest area to the price to the market price right now. This is what I see. This resistance right here. It's barely the support, the previous support, or it's barely this area. But let's not, let's also acknowledge it that it could also be this support. So here's the target of what could possibly happen after price is done retesting. And now let me show you how you should approach this one. I mean, not that I know any better, but like with my experience, I think I know when a chart is too good to be true, right? So right now, if you look at this, now I'm talking to like people who really use patterns. I mean, I'm one of them. When you use patterns and try and make sense out of a setup, so that you can end. I'm about to break it down just now. Just give me a second, because I need this test to be very, very, yeah. So this is what we have, right? We have this highest high right here. Let's give it an error as well. We have a high. I have a high right there. And look at how price has been acting ever since this high was made, right? Price has been dropping. This was a fake out, not a fake out, but well, fake out in terms of if we're gonna use the trend line like this. This was a fake out. So we have one touch, two touch, third touch, and now it's even breaking. Fourth touch is even breaking. There's a whole consolidation happening right there, right? So there's buyers who are looking at this and they say, okay, now we're at the retest, we're about to go up. There's traders who are looking at this pattern. I know people who trade this pattern. It's a whole pattern, and it looks valid. I mean, price has been respecting it. The support has been holding. The resistance has been holding. Now it has broken, right? But mind you, where you perceive a lot of where you perceive a lot of opportunity in the market, right? Around this area, that's where the liquidity lies, right? What am I talking about? Of course, when you see something like this, you're gonna enter your buys here. Where are you gonna have your stop losses? When you enter this opportunity right here. Where are you gonna have your stop losses? Isn't it gonna be around this area right here? Or just below this area, to say if price crosses this line or this area, I know my setup is invalidated. around here, because this looks like a, higher high, higher low. Even the high high was broken. We have a high high now. Now we're about to, there's people entering right now. There's money here. There's traders entering buys around this area, right? And for the buyers to have enough liquidity, or the playmakers or the market makers or whoever or whatever you want to call them, if you really believe that this such people in the market, if they're gonna if they need more liquidity, or if they're gonna want to take price to a whole nother level and make new highs, they have to have enough liquidity, right? So them understanding that, okay, there's buyers entering here, they have their stop losses around this area, and we can actually get liquidity from both buyers and sellers. We can actually get liquidity from both buyers and sellers, right? So the sellers as well here, sellers who have their stop losses here. Now, let me actually look at the arrows too. This is how I look at the markets, guys. Sorry if this takes too long for your liking, but especially above this high, because this only happens after the fact, after the enter. So the sellers who have the sellers who have the stop losses around this area, to say if price breaks this line, I know that we're going up. My setup is invalidated because what I'm trading here is the break and retest of this line. Is the break and retest of, I mean, it might look a bit funny right now because it's on the 4 hour. If we go to the 1 hour, it might look clearer, right? So there's liquidity around all these areas. That's why it's very important for you to wait for the perfect timing, because you could enter here, it might be right about the overall direction going to the upside, but what do you think your opponents know about you? What do you think your opponents know about your entry? They know that you have your stop losses around this area. There's whole liquidity here. There's liquidity around this area. Price might even come and retest this area before it goes up, or even come touch this line. Take out the sellers first. Take out the sellers first who are already in the market right now as we speak, who entered based on the break and retest of the trend line. Take them out first, go up, probably make or probably even break this low, right? I mean the high, probably even break it, attempt to come to this one, and only to find out that it's a fake out. And then after that, price actually drops to make a touch on this trend line. Because look, the move we're anticipating is very monumental right here. This is a zone that has been holding ever since, let me see the resistance. Well, last year, May, over a year now. Price reversed from the same area that we're about to witness a break and retest of, So it's not gonna, there has to be enough liquidity for price to pull off such a move. So I'm really hoping. Let's go to the 1 hour so that you see. If you look at the 1 hour, you understand what I'm talking about. It's just like my 1 hour now looks a bit messy. But look at the 1 hour, there's people who entered here. There was a break and retest, obviously, a couple of bullish candles here to symbolize a retest. Sellers entered. Sellers probably had, those who didn't take their profit around this area are still in the trade. This candle alone, this move alone, took them out if maybe they were trying stop losses, or if they had their stop losses above, the high of the last bullish candle. The stop losses are dealt with. Now prices continuing to go downside or to the downside, right? So now the sellers, there might be sellers still in this activity, or they might not. But at this point, you must open your eyes, guys, because there's a lot of possibilities. This is also another pattern that the retail trader might be looking at when you're looking at closely like this, or when you're looking at it closely. You might see that, okay, there's some sort of a pattern forming. So liquidity is around the area where you see a whole lot of opportunity, or where you think you see opportunities. That's where liquidity is. That's where your money is. You know, the money that is needed to take price to the next level. That's where it lies. You know, let me clear up my chart real quick. So there's liquidity here of the buyers, and their stop losses around this area. It could be this whole area right here. You know, could be this whole area right here. That's why we're gonna, I mean, let me show you something. Price will literally do anything for liquidity, you know. Could literally go anywhere for liquidity, right? So from here, let me tell you how liquidity could be grabbed here. So obviously we have this happening, right? We have two patterns that are a possibility at this point. This bullish continuation and the breakage and retest of the uptrend, which means, okay, now we are bearish, right? All right, we might have this going on, right? So the traders or the sellers that are in right now trading this pattern are still valid, right? They might have their stop losses right above these areas right here or whatever, but they're still inside, and they probably will take their profit somewhere here, or even they're gunning for the main support, because this is the main support. If you remember the analysis, this is the main support trend line, and we wouldn't be surprised if price comes this low, because how? Obviously, it's a dead touch before we go up. You know, that wouldn't be a surprise. So there's just like a whole lot of confusion around this area, and you just need to really, pay attention. Hence, I'm saying you might not be wrong with the direction. I don't want to predict the direction, because at this point we're still in the wilderness. But one thing I will tell you guys, timing is everything. You know, timing is everything, especially now, because it's an eventful week. Price is gonna be very volatile. So just wait for the perfect trading environment before you actually consider entering. But right now we know that we have stop losses below this area. If price closes like this, we have stop losses, and there's a huge bunch of cash around this area. Because you might look at it and say, okay, this high, 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 low, higher, high, but then this only gonna be higher, high if it gets broken. So if you wanna zoom in, you can also have this. Price is moving crazily. Lower high. Lower low. We have a valid rate we can use to determine the immediate sentiment right now, right? If you're gonna look at this as a trend, uh, from this high to this point, if you're gonna look at it as a trend, you can see that we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So if this lower high is broken, to the buyer, that would mean, okay, the buyers are in. You know, we invalidated the bearish trend. But also remember, there's a whole lot of opportunities that we perceive around this area. So anything could really happen. Anything could really happen. We could be having this as well. Anything could really happen, right? Anything could really happen. This could be the candle that tries to, take out the sellers, or the stop losses. Because if you sold here after the retest, because it looks like a retest, if you sold here, you probably have your stop losses somewhere around this area. And now look at price is going up, So price could really be doing anything at this point. Just have to be careful on your timing. And if price really is bullish at this point, we have the lower high, lower low. If this lower high is broken, wait for some sort of a retest before you enter, and have your target tight. This could be your target. The current holding high could be your target. See, so if you're entering sales here, you're taken out. So yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see what price is doing. But right now, if you are with the buyers and you're trying to enter, at least you have something, you have something to use to determine if you're going to enter or not. The lower high, lower low, which you also should be careful before entering, because this structure, the same structure, the lower high, lower low structure, could be used to lure you in, and then as soon as you enter, you get taken out before price actually takes the direction. So be very, very, very careful, guys. I'm gonna go down to, this is the longest video I've done, probably. I'm gonna go down to the gold and see what gold is talking about. See what gold is talking about. I want to show you something about gold. Gold had equal lows here, but because we gold had equal lows, and because obviously liquidity had to be grabbed, right? That's the principle. The markets are nothing without liquidity. So obviously there were buyers waiting here for another buy, right? Buyers were here waiting for another buy, because whenever price gets here, it goes up, especially here, because now it was even gonna create a young double bottom. Price instead dropped, drop below the to go fetch your stop losses, because obviously if you have your entry here, you have your stop losses tightly below the support area. Stop losses were dealt with, and then price came back in. That's what I'm saying. Never underestimate the power of liquidity grab. This is the 1 week, which is some sort of a range, if you ask me. The resistance has been respected 3 times at this point, right? And we can also see a healthy trend, higher high, higher low, higher high, because the higher high was this is the wave that's holding right now, higher high, higher low. And it's still holding. So on the weekly, we can say, we are pretty bullish, if you may ask us. But then over, we can see that it's a range. But then if you to look at the price action, you see that the buyers are in control. Go down to the one, or to the daily time frame to see what's happening. My laptop is so slow today. And that's where we see. That's where we see the price action a little bit clearer. At this point, I'd like to have a trend line to see if you are still respecting the uptrend, at least when it comes to the trend line, I guess. The dead touch didn't take us anywhere. There was a dead touch, but it just didn't take us anywhere. So after this touch, price went up, but there was some sort of a resistance here, which happens to be a resistance that held for quite some time. I mean, there was a fake out here. There was also it was disrespected here, but then it was still respected in terms of retesting here before it actually drops. And this retest actually looked like at some point it really look like a, let me show you, a range right here. It goes, we have this, right? This not this is the daily, by the way, daily charts. This is what we have, right? So as far as the trend line is concerned, the trend line has been broken clearly, right? And the range that was formed inside here, I mean, it's on the daily. It won't look like a range like that. But if you watch my previous videos, my analysis last week, you actually understand why I call it a range. Or you'll see when you go down to the down to the lower time frame. You know, so by definition, this is still an uptrend because this higher low is still holding. But then now we can see signs of bearish pressure, right? We can see the signs of the bears now, to say they are now in the market, and they gave us the strongest bearish signal we could ever ask for. You know, they gave us the strongest bearish pattern or formation we could have asked for, a double top. So now it's just a matter of timing. Now it's just a matter of timing on when you enter to trade with the trend. That's what we're looking at. And right now I'd say um let's price has been bearish ever since the double top was formed. We have a wave, lower high, lower low, lower low was broken. Even though it was not easy, it was some sort of a range consolidation. That's what I was talking about. You can see, right? It was not easy breaking it, but it was broken. It was broken, and now price is trying to come retest the same level of support of the range that was broken, which also happens to be what, does it even count as a let's just respect it and give it its props. Let's give it its props. Lower high, I guess. But it's a significant area, as you can see, you know. So price broke both the range, broke out of the range, broke out of the line, you know. So now what are we looking for before we enter? I'm gonna try and see if we have some sort of a, yeah, some sort of a trend that, or some sort of a guide that price has been following, or like, just to see if we can get a good entry. If you're to look at this downtrend, every time it has to drop, one, one, two, is this the third touch we're waiting for? And it's also coupled with the strong level. It's also coupled with the strong level. Even if like the line is a little bit disrespected, there's a whole level. There's a whole level that price could be, retested, which happens to be the support that was broken. We're about to turn it into a resistance and have a target here. This would be a good trade if you enter it, like if you execute it well, it could be a good trade. But another thing is that your gold is too volatile, man. Like that I'm scared. Right? Well, gold is too volatile. This could really be a good, because look, the downtrend is healthy. We even have our latest or the most recent wave here. Lower high. lower low. You have this, right? Let me have a zone on a zone. Let's see what happens with price goes here now. Especially today with the news and everything. The downtrend is still valid. As much as as long as this lower high is holding, the downtrend is valid. And then again, you might say, okay, connect the connect the trend line, connect the lows. Let's see. What are we seeing? This is what we see. Let's go down to the 1 hour so that the trend line can be clear. This is what we're looking at on gold. At this point, price, how many touches has price made on this line? 1, 2, 3. The fourth one broke, but then now it's still bullish. So the pattern, if you're trading this pattern now, the break and retest of this trend line, this one, it's pretty much invalidated. Now, if you were to enter sales, it wouldn't be based off this line, obviously, because how many touches did you witness? 1, 2, 3, 4, which was a breakout. You expect it to break on the 5th touch? This, you don't know. We usually break on the 3rd, 4th. But now, what we can focus on for our entry is the touches, right? The touches on the downtrend or the downtrend line. We have 2 touches that respected the line, right? And we also have this support we're trying to retest that we broke out of. You see, and the lower high of the downtrend to see if the downtrend is still holding. So now we are looking forward to the lower high. Is price gonna respect the lower high? Is price now gonna let me show you. This is like, you might look at this video or my analysis and be like, you are confused because your analysis are saying buy and sell at the same time. I'm trying to show you that whenever you are certain, whenever you're analyzing and you're certain that, okay, the market is going to go up, or price is going to the upside, price is going to the downside, you must understand that there's someone who's willing to bet against you, and they also have a pretty good, they also have a pretty good analysis to back them up. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, never be too sure in the markets just because of that. Always manage your risk and everything, because there's buyers who entered here and this looks like a good, this looks like a good bullish continuation pattern, and it could really be a bullish continuation pattern to go to the upside, because we have higher high, higher low. This could be our higher high. We could have our higher low here. I don't know. You could really have this going on. So whatever your trading rules or your trading plan is telling you, follow that, so that you don't jump the gun when trying to enter this opportunity. But I'm telling you, let's see what price does, because this could really be anything. And it makes sense that everything is happening right now, with the news coming in tonight and by the end of the week. That's why I don't trade NFP week, because at this point it could really be anything. You understand? It could really be, this could only be the second touch. This could only be the second touch, because as soon as you do this, it's invalidated, right? But the first 3 touches are valid, right? But then the markets are moving. The markets are moving. This, if we have to put this line here, would you say we're wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. So the market is all about sticking to your rules, man. Whatever that's presented in front of you and you're familiar with, or and it also appears in your trading rules and trading plan. Trade that. You understand? Trade that. But then for now, to cancel out the, to cancel out all the confusion, I'm just gonna leave my analysis like this, because any touch, any touch or any, if price comes here, it would be a fake out of the trend line, the downtrend line, but it will also be a fake out of the resistance of this range that we just discovered right here. This range, right? It will be a fake out of that as well, but a touch on the lower high, right? Which also shows that, okay, this level is still respected, it's still holding the trend, and which also shows, which also would play a part in being a touch of the support that we broke out of. That was almost a range. We broke out of that. We have a pattern that could also be valid and still, holding at this point. This is the third touch. So really, we could really be going down. We could really be going down because there's liquidity here. There's people who are holding cells. This is the resistance. They have their stop losses here. We have people who have their stop losses here. We have people who have their stop losses here, entering cells, especially because of the touch on this line. You see, this was a clear touch. Someone entered here and had the stop losses above the area, which happens to be the lower high. Could be here even. So stop losses could be here. The people with bigger accounts have their stop losses all the way here. But price needs that liquidity for it to drop if you drop it, right? But if you're going to look at it from a bull's point of view, you can say, okay, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, 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 low. Now it's like it's a range, or this could be the third touch. Price could come for a third touch and then continue with the high, high. It could really be anything. So all this is just to show you that, first, second, third, especially after maybe the 3 cards and then go up. You see, so just stick to what you know. Have confluences, and compare your DXY and your currencies and see which is it making sense? Is it corresponding? But this is what I have for you guys. I know this is a long ass video, but I appreciate you for making it this far. And yeah, let's see what the market does. If you happen to take a trade, apply proper risk management. I realize that I haven't given any signal on this video, and that's not my aim, especially because it's NFP week. But that's just my opinion and that's my viewpoint on the markets. If I happen to enter sell, it would be after maybe price has broken out of this range, broke the resistance, came here, and then reversed. If I can see some sort of a break or fake out here, it will make sense that, okay, price is grabbing this liquidity, and then now we're going down. And when we're going down, it proves, we have more confluences. So okay, it was a breakout of the range. It's also following this pattern, the bearish continuation pattern. And what else? Right? It just supports it to say, okay, price can break, price can move to the downside. That's what we call the reaction. We are reacting to what the market is doing. But if price breaks this resistance and still makes higher highs and does a young correction, which happens to be attached to this line, without this one, let me even remove this one. Without this line, now we get to say, okay, this was the second touch, this is the third touch. Now we're really going to the upside. So be it. But what does the dollar say? How did you conclude on the dollar? Not that we concluded, because we react to what the markets are doing, but which which side would the okay, if the dollar, okay, if the dollar is looking like this, and if the dollar was to break this level or this line to go to the downside and respect this pattern, it means that the the gold is gonna go up, and the GBP also USD is also supposed to go up. So have your eyes open, guys. Have your eyes open. But at the end of the day, this is how the dollar is looking. It's up to you how you interpret it. One, two, three. This is the fourth touch. If price happens to get to this level, it would be a fourth touch. And this is also a range, by the way. If you can't really see it, or maybe I'm forcing things. Maybe it's me, guys. Maybe I'm just forcing things. How about that? Let's see if price respects this and bounces off this support. Let's see. Whatever happens, guys, just if price breaks to below and respects this move, we know that okay, the pairs that we are trading, our goal is gonna go up. We're gonna try and find an entry for the buys. Even our GBP USD, will have to go to the upside. All right. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you very much if you got to this part of the video. And yeah, let's see what the market does. I wish you a profitable week if you're gonna be trading. Thank you.